Covering breaking news this morning here on Sunday Morning Futures, Nancy Pelosi is third in line for the presidency. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi. Why isn't she in Washington right now? After 13 service member heroes gave their lives for Joe Biden's botched up plan to cut and run out of Afghanistan. Pelosi apparently refusing GOP leader Kevin McCarthy's demands to bring the House back in to review what went wrong in Afghanistan. The congressman joins me this morning from where he is in Washington, D.C. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for coming back this morning because of this breaking news. We spoke over the weekend, and I know that you've been working the phones trying to get Americans out of Afghanistan. I'm going to get to Nancy Pelosi in a minute. Tell us about your efforts to get people out.
Maria, there are hundreds and could be thousands of Americans that are going to get left behind in Afghanistan. As Michael Waltz just told you saw Brian Mast, many of the members have been working, such as myself, trying to get Americans that we know that are our constituents, that are just outside the wall of the airport, to get them in, to get them on planes, to get them home, to get them to safety. The State Department has made a decision that the 31st is the deadline. They're allowing Taliban to dictate our foreign policy. And what has happened here, Maria, anytime you allow a partisan political decision designed for a photo op, it will lead to a fatal national security problem on the battlefield. And that is what transpired here based upon what Joe Biden as president has done. You bring a very good point about Bagram. Even if at the end of the day they wanted to close that base, why would they close it before all the Americans were out? You housed more than 5,000 terrorists in a prison there. They have now been released. You left in the middle of the night without telling your allies. You left weaponry. Now the prisoners are out. ISIS-K. We're seeing the damage, what they're able to do in such a short time frame. We're watching Americans being left behind, but administration knowingly making that decision. There's no excuse why this deadline has not been extended.
So you have demanded that Nancy Pelosi call Congress back in so that you can understand what went wrong. Have you heard back from the Speaker?
We have not heard back from the Speaker, only from her deputy chief, who tried to criticize us for asking that a co-equal branch of government could have a say. When we were called back, other nations called back. In the UK, they called their parliament back to work on getting their citizens home. When we were called back last week, it was only to pass about $5 trillion of spending. We had a short time to talk, and they cut the meeting off when we had our update. We should spend the time knowing how many Americans are still there, not setting an artificial deadline until the mission is done, that every American is out safely. Then you could shut it down. But to allow the Taliban to dictate our foreign policy, to allow the State Department to run this instead of the military, these are mistakes, but these are answers that we're going to have to hold people accountable for later, because people have lost their lives.